And that's what often people are doing. We are often going around life like a drunkard, not understanding how life is, not trying to see the interconnected factors. It's like in the story of this one drunkard who was complaining that I asked somebody to show me where is the other side of the road, and they always send me from one side to the other. Now, he is not aware what he's asking for, what he's really wanting. He is just in a certain kind of intoxicant process. And without bringing attention, without bringing clarity, without looking more deeply, we are going about life more or less like a drunkard. That is why those who have been insightful are saying that humanity, without bringing the initiative for awareness, is like moving in sleep. We'll take some moments to come to the basics, to bring the attention to that what gets easily forgotten. And that is, even though so many occasions, in so many ways, it is recommended, reminded to be in touch with the moment, to be in touch with that what is taking place inside you, we have the habit and the inner automatism, which is primarily focused on the outside, and most often one is just identified and limited through that perception. And this is the real challenge, to recognize that without an ongoing initiative, without a persistent reminder and remembrance from one side, from one's own inner decision, it will not happen. Because the inner automatism is almost in an invisible, unconscious way taking every opportunity to keep you outside oriented. Unless there is some pain, unless there is some difficulties, unless something is very much demanding that you feel or see or experience something differently. But those who are not waiting for some problems to come so that they can become a little bit more conscious, those who see that it is necessary, it is valuable, it is decisive, that you are in touch with the reality. And that is what it means to be in touch with the moment. Because in the moment, you have the possibility to be directly in touch with all what is. Otherwise, it is only the projections through the past, through the memories, through the positive and negative experiences which one has made, the judgments and the calculations and the conclusions we have made from past experiences. And this is all coloring, this is all deciding what you see, what you feel, how you behave, how you go about every moment. So you have to recognize the real challenge, the immensity of the challenge. And in deeper teachings, of course, it has been indicated in many different poetic ways, even in religions which are not primarily emphasizing on bringing consciousness in, but an orientation to the Creator, to the mystery, to the divine. For example, in the Christian background, in the Old Testament, there's a statement which is quite known, where God says that if you are not with me, you are against me. If you take it in a very superficial way, it is looking like there is a personality there who is like a politician, who is a dictator, telling people that if you are not in my party, you are against me. And of course you will have consequences, punishments, troubles. This is not the meaning of that. The meaning of this is very much similar to what I am indicating, that if you are not deliberately bringing your attention to the light, if you are not remembering the Creator, if you are not connecting to the source, to the mystery within, in a conscious way, without it, you are being outward oriented, caught in a one-dimensional way of projecting and limited by that. Once you understand the challenge in the right way, then you can also see that it requires a very gentle, ongoing, not fighting approach, but a playful approach to keep the remembrance. Because the moment you go into the fighting approach, you have already lost. And this also will be good to understand what I mean by that. When you are in a fighting approach, there is a so-called idea of the I with which you are identified. And this I is trying to change something inside, so something which has to be different. So you are unconsciously, automatically caught in an idea of duality. And this idea of duality in which you are caught is the illusion, is the misunderstanding. So if you approach on a fighting way, sooner or later you will have to realize that that is not going to make you clear, make you free. But when you see that it is an approach which requires your energetic participation, your wholeheartedness, but not in a fighting approach. More soft, playful. I like the English word understanding because standing under, that means humility. When you are humble, when you are not trying to force your knowledge and label everything according to that, when you are not following the judgment automatically, then it can enable you to understand, and understanding in this deeper sense that your perception becomes deeper. You are able to see the interconnected factors. Your vision becomes inclusive, holistic. And this is very, very important. That is making all the difference, because once you see that you are in touch with the reality by being present to the moment, and as I often indicate to all of you who are here and some who have been listening to me from different situations, connect to the moment wakefully without identifying with any aspect. This orientation to not identifying, not trying to fix yourself in any form, in any role, in any attitude. This is very significant. When you are not trying to control, when you are not trying to manage, you are not trying to force, you are relaxing. And when you are relaxing, you are coming home, you are connecting to the source. And this is very, very, very important. You are allowing the deepest process to happen without making it a fight, without making it a repetition of the old approach. That is why I say, approach it in a gentle, non-struggling way. You have heard me also referring to one Indian mystic from Gujarat who used to say, meditate as if you are playing, laughing, celebrating. He called it in Gujarati, my Gujarati is not so good, but something like this, Hasiba, Kheliba, Kariba, Dhyanam, which is very, very beautiful, very, very significant and very essential. Because once you see that our understanding of reality becomes possible when we are not preoccupied, when we are not projecting. And without this conscious, gentle, non-struggling orientation, we are projecting. So understand the situation more in a lighter, playful, wakeful way, and with that quality also begin to bring the attention to the moment. And this is what makes the biggest difference, the basic difference. Once it becomes your experiential understanding what it means just to be wakefully present in a non-struggling way. J. Krishnamurti used to use an expression, passive awareness. It can be easily misunderstood by some people because they think passive means kind of resignating. But it is bringing the polarity together. Passivity in a way that you are not struggling, but wakefulness, awareness, presence, that is very much an energetic process. So bring this quality of presence, this quality of being wakefully with the moment, without making it into a struggle to achieve some goal or to manage and force something. It's not a goal-oriented approach, it is just a way of orienting to the reality, orienting to perceive directly and deeply, and allowing life to manifest without your interference, in you, outside you. So this is very important, that all what is indicated in this way is poetic indications. You cannot just try to manage it back from the head. And poetry means, it is not like an instruction manual where you are, when you are making some furniture which you have bought from somewhere and you have to assemble it, and you hammer it there and you put this screws here and then you have it. It's not like that. It's much more that a quality of feeling, sensing. Each word is only indicative. And now you can understand why I'm almost always referring to the great Chinese mystic Lao Tse, who refused to write a book, and under the circumstances as it is passed on in the legend, he was almost, with great appreciation and admiration, he was almost forced by the emperor to write a book before he leaves the body. And under these circumstances, he wrote a book, Tao Te King, which starts with the reminder that truth cannot be said, and that what is said is a lie. What does he mean with that? He doesn't want anybody to believe the words and hold to it. And when you look in the world today, you can see that people are caught in words, in the name of religion, in the name of words, in the name of the good, in the name of culture, in the name of wanting to achieve the goodness for everybody and all that. They are using words, interpreting them according to their convenience, but they are not understanding. Because when you really understand, your approach will be spontaneously different. You will have a quality of compassion. Because your life will be based on the experiential understanding of the non-duality. And this is the basic difference. When you are basing your connection to the world on your sensibility of non-duality, on your experiential understanding of non-duality, then you can be in the game of duality, because then you will see that what is meant by the word game or lila in the East. Then it becomes a playful process, because you see that it is a deeply interconnected, interwoven reality, and you don't go with any feeling of enmity to anybody. You don't go into hatefulness, you don't go into destructive tendencies. The more deeply you are connected with yourself, the more clear it becomes how wondrous all this life process is, how innocent in deep within everyone is. That is why those who are insightful, they are not propagating hatred and violence and destructive approach. They cannot, because their understanding reveals to them that that is not the way it has to go. So those who are insightful are reminding everybody, get clear, seek the truth, understand who you truly am, ask yourself, who am I? Seek the mystery, seek the divine, seek and come to the realization, come to the direct understanding. Because nothing less than that will do. Otherwise we are just caught in words, and you can see in different languages we have different words for the same thing. And if we don't understand that it is not the word which is the reality, it is the experience of it, what is the basic. But when that is not there, when that clarity is not there, people are fighting in the name of words. And so the misunderstanding dominates the life, and we create suffering for ourselves and for others. We become very destructive towards practically everyone. Because when we are in unclarity, we are harming ourselves, and we also harm others. We harm our whole basis of life. We are unsensible to the nature. We are unsensible to other living beings. So you can see the delicate challenge we are having. That is why recognize the immensity of the challenge and begin as wakefully, as wholeheartedly, in a non-struggling way to orient to the present. The words present and presence are very beautiful. And I like this in English. Present is referring to the timeless time, and it's also referring it in the sense that it is a present, it's a gift, it's a blessing. The more carefully you look, the more it becomes clear to you what a blessing it is to be able to be participating in this life. What a blessing it is that you have a human body in which you can come to a state of clarity and awakening. Through your positive and negative experiences, you can ripen, flower, and attain a state of freedom and fulfillment. Live in joy and gratitude. Celebrate the blessing that life is. But very often we don't understand it rightly, and then rather than seeing it as a blessing, we go about life as if it is a curse. One suffers through it, one complains, curses, and is very unhappy, falls into depression, and hurts each other through our misunderstanding. So, recognize the whole possibilities and allow your life to become a blessing. You have the chance, you have the capacity, you have the awareness which you can deepen. And the most beautiful thing about it is also that nobody else can do it for you, because it's not somebody else telling you, manage it now, force it, you have to be like this. No. It is your innermost decision. It is your freedom. You can allow the automatism in you to go on dominating you. Of course, it will not fulfill you, and it will bring you into more entanglements and suffering. But if you don't try to understand from it, and that's what often people are doing. We are often going around life like a drunkard, not understanding how life is, not trying to see the interconnected factors. It's like in the story of this one drunkard who was complaining that I asked somebody to show me where is the other side of the road, and they always send me from one side to the other. Now, he is not aware what he's asking for, what he's really wanting. He is just in a certain kind of intoxicant process. And without bringing attention, without bringing clarity, without looking more deeply, we are going about life more or less like a drunkard. That is why those who have been insightful are saying that humanity, without bringing the initiative for awareness, is like moving in sleep. And you know that in the sleep you have sometimes sweet dreams, but the very sweet dream can turn any moment into a nightmare, because both are happening in sleep. That is why when you want to wake up, you should not cling to anything, neither to the sweet dream nor to the fear of the nightmare. Watch everything. Be in a non-interfering way present to the reality as it is in the moment, without trying to put it in boxes, without attempting to judge and label and make it into a knowledge. That is what is meant with mirror-like consciousness. Bring this alertness, bring this awareness, so that you can awaken to the blessedness of your reality. You can awaken to realize that whatever be the physical situation, whatever be the surroundings, when you are inwardly clear, you have the possibility, without going into suffering, respond and answer to the challenges what arises in the practical living. Of course, the body will have sometimes pains and aches and difficulties. There are other emotional challenges coming as we are in life process. But when you are able to see it from within, without identifying, then you have graceful way to respond to it. Then you are able to answer to the challenges and through that get more clear, more ripe, more free. Recognize that whatever happens, whether it appears positive or negative, everything is enabling us to ripen through it, to get clear through it, to awaken and to become free. When I'm sometimes reminding some of you who have been hearing it, that look at everybody as a friend. Some are friendly friends, some are unfriendly friends. But from your side, you are accepting the other. You are accepting them as part of life. And when you are not carrying an inimical approach, you are not trying to go into negativity because of that. That is what I mean when I say accept everybody in life as a friend. Some may be friendly to you, some may be not friendly to you, some may be inimical to you in a state of their unclarity or misunderstanding. But you don't need to fall into that trap. You don't need to go into the same kind of unconscious reaction. And that is what makes life so significant. Whatever comes from the outside, when you understand it wakefully and consciously, you will make the best out of it. Inwardly, you will remain clear. Inwardly, you will remain free. Inwardly, you will be in touch with the source of joy within you. If anyone else or anybody has a question, anything to say, anything to express, still we can take some time. Anyone from elsewhere? So if no questions or anything is there, we sit the next 20 minutes simply remembering not to identify with anything, not to try to change anything, not to try to change yourself, not to hold to anything, not to get rid of anything. Whatever you find in yourself, stay wakefully present, letting it all arise, letting it all pass by. With the wakefulness, see that you are not only just engaging with the periphery, you are being in touch with all what is going on, obviously and undercurrently. What is visible as thoughts, feelings, but what is going on undercurrently as expectations, desires, longings, fears, calculations, identification. So let everything what is there become as much transparent to you as possible. With this orientation with closed eyes, we sit the next 20 minutes.
The Life Surfing podcast will be back next week. In the meantime, make sure that you're following us right here on Spotify.